Uh-oh, we live. Contender regime boxing, checking back in with y'all, man. What's good? What's happening? Let me make sure I got this this speak off. Let me see. Okay, we good. What's happening, man? What's good? Had to pop up on y'all boys, man. Do a little, you know what I'm saying? Do a little pop-up live, man, and chop it up with y'all boys. Shout out to the brother Phil J508 in the building. What's good, man? You know, happy holidays to everybody. Shout out to Simply Amira J in the building. What's good? Now, I ain't forget about y'all. You know, I had to pop up. You know what I'm saying? Spur of the moment type shit. Want to have a little boxing conversation with y'all. Shout out to the brother Jay Harris, Too Real in the building. D'Avian Bible in the building. What's good? John Kramer in the building. Skinny Too Litty in the building. What's good with you, my brother? Hey, Merry Christmas to you, man. Happy holidays to everybody, man. I hope y'all having a great Christmas Eve, you know, with your family, man, and doing y'all thing. G Harris in the building. Salute. What's good? The real Benjamin Bloodline in the building. What's good with you? Tez Frank in the building. What's good with you? So I can't wait till this Spence and Ugas fight. If it's in Dallas, I'm in that thing. I hope it's in Dallas, bro. I hope they have it at Cowboy Stadium, bro. I think this shit gonna be a showcase fight. I ain't gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be a good matchup, but you know, I feel like shit, Spence on some different shit right now. Your boy TJ in the building. What's good with you? What's happening? Appreciate everybody for pulling up, man. We definitely gonna dive deep into it, man. We gonna chop it up. Say you done rapping gifts. I did what I had to do. You know, I ain't real cold at rapping gifts, but I definitely did what I had to do. You know what I'm saying? But I'm good. All my gift shopping and gift wrapping, everything good. So, you know, it's solidified. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go link up with the family in the morning, man, and at mom's crib, and we gonna get it popping. Do you think he's still working with Blu-ray? I believe so. I believe that Blu-ray is in the equation, but I know he has a nutrition team now, and they also specialize in strength and conditioning. So I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. And shout out to the brother Blu-ray. Does great work. Him and Earl, when they was working together, they went on like an 11 fight win streak with all knockouts. So he definitely good at what he does. But of course, I mean, with or without Blu-ray, Errol Spence is Errol Spence. I think the biggest thing is just having a strength and conditioning coach and actually going through that, which Earl wasn't doing for a long time. For these last 3 fights, he wasn't doing no strength and conditioning. He was just doing straight boxing. You know what I'm saying? He'll do road work and boxing workouts. He wasn't doing no strength and conditioning. Also, he never had a nutritionist. So now I think those things, like, he'll be able to cut weight more healthy now. You know what I'm saying? He'll have somebody actually cooking his meals for him. Just remember after the, I think it was after the Sean Porter fight, he was like, look, I'm about to get a nutritionist and a strength and conditioning coach now. You know what I'm saying? Because he just realized that I'm at a too high of a level right now to not have these things on my team. You know what I'm saying? Not have these things a part of my team. And you know, so I think that's gonna make his job a lot easier, cutting weight and just getting in shape and being ready for the fight. So, but I do believe that Blu-ray will have his hands into you know, into the equation. So we'll see how it go. But I've done some research on Declan Walsh, the guy that he's working with from overseas, man. Dude pretty good at what he do. You know what I'm saying? He pretty good at what he do. He got a great track record in terms of helping guys cut weight, both in boxing and in UFC or in MMA. And then also, as far as strength and conditioning, you know, he really good at what he do. So we'll see how it play out. But at the end of the day, Errol Spence is Errol Spence. So, you know, as long as he actually taking those steps to do that, I think he'll be all right. Eric Bowden in the building. Salute to you. What's good? What's your points? Number 1, facts in the building. Salute, man. What's good? Brian Peters in the building. What's good? Shout out to everybody coming through. Let me see what we got here. Dave's Kate's all day. What's good with you? He mentioned after Porter, he gonna get his shit together for real, which is scary. Yeah, real talk. Real talk. He said that after the Porter fight And then he reiterated that shit after the Danny Garcia fight. He was like, nah, for real. Everybody was like, bro, you keep saying you gonna do this. And he actually did the shit now. So, you know, I like, this just shows me that he's extremely serious about what he's trying to accomplish. The road to undisputed. He really wants to be undisputed. He really want to make statements and prove that he the best, man, and just want to be the best version of himself. So the fact that he taking these steps, that just let me know how serious he is, man. So I'm really looking forward to his next performance versus Yordenis Ugas. Gonna be a great fight, great performance. Sheldon Moore in the building. Salute to you, my brother. Josh Sanders in the building. What's good? So he already in shape now. No more blowing up in weight after the fight. Facts. He already in like a manageable, he already at a manageable weight. So at this point, he gonna probably have to cut those last 15, 20 pounds. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, he probably got to cut like 20 pounds to get the 147. He probably like 167, 170 max right now, which is not bad being 3 months out from the fight, because I believe the fight is going to happen like first week of March, something like that. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, he good. He good. I think, you know, now it'll just be gradually cutting that weight down in a healthy fashion, as opposed to, you know, trying to get everything off real quick. I really think that'll help out with, of course, stamina, endurance, and then punching power as well, because as you get later on in the fight, you'll still have enough of that energy that you need to sit down on your punches and still be able to do everything that you need to do. So I think that's, cutting weight healthy is a very, very like important thing. It's very important. You know what I'm saying? Very important. Your boy TJ in the building. Was good, if I ain't already shout you out. Said I could see Earl stopping Ugas too. I can definitely see that, bro. Like, I know I told y'all that I think this is going to be a good matchup, and I believe that. I stand on that. I think, you know, Ugas coming off of the best win in his career, beating Manny Pacquiao, that right there alone is going to give you like a world of confidence. And then, you know, I just thought his performance was real good. And then just, you know, Ugas, the boxer, you know, his skill set, everything that he already done before the Manny Pacquiao fight would give anybody issues at welterweight. So I definitely believe that Ugas gonna put up a great fight. He gonna put up a great effort. He gonna have so much incentive to win. You know, it's so much on the line. You beat Errol Spence. You're the unified. I believe he's the first Cuban champion with 3 belts or something like that. You know, then you have maybe a shot at a rematch with Errol Spence. That's even more money, a bigger fight. And then also you can possibly fight Terrence Crawford for undisputed. It's so much to gain here for Yordenis Ugas. So I know we're going to get the very best version of him. But in that same token, I think you're going to get the best version of Errol Spence as well, with everything that he got on the line. You know, you see the title, like he said, after I get this 3rd belt, we going to see who holding up the fight. You know what I'm saying? So everything he got on the line, everybody that's been doubting, all the naysayers, he hear all that shit, he see all that shit. You know what I'm saying? And especially with Terrence Crawford coming out and finally speaking publicly with some type of aggression, you know what I'm saying? Now, you know, I already know what type of shit, I know what that do to Errol Spence, his psyche, how that make him approach his workouts, his training, his camp, you know, and then ultimately the fight. When he get in there with Ugas, I just think we're going to see Earl on a whole nother level, you know what I'm saying? And it's going to be exciting to see, for sure. Josh Sanders in the building. What's good? Said Spence always sharp and always goes to the body. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Ugas is very technical. And you know what? I think if it really depends on, let me see, who is that? Funny Markel in the building. Salute to you, my brother. Appreciate you for coming through. As far as how this fight turns out, it really depends on how Ugas decides to approach this fight. If he sit there and try to play chess with Earl early on, which is what I think he gonna do, because I think he'll understand that Errol Spence has, just doing his research on Earl, he gonna understand and notice from past fights that Errol Spence has a great motor. Errol Spence is capable, just like we seen in the Mikey Garcia fight, of throwing over 1,000 punches in a fight. This is a guy who has, in my opinion, top 3 best jab in the sport of boxing. The different variations of how he used the jab, the consistency of the jab, the fact that that motherfucker in your face all night. So at the very least, fucking with Errol Spence, you gonna have to worry about that jab. And if you can't take it away from him, say goodbye. You know what I'm saying? But he gonna understand that Earl got a motor on him. So I don't know if he comes out there and try to like just bomb rush Earl or something like that. Even though that ain't even really his game plan. Ugas is more of like a counter puncher. He like to come forward, but he counters. You know, he'll come forward, put pressure on you, wait on you to throw, and then try to hit you with something. You know what I'm saying? He got a really good, sneaky, dangerous overhand right. Got a nice jab on him. He go to the body well. Ugas is a really good body puncher. But I think he's going to try to play chess with Earl early on in the fight. I think he'll try to play chess. And if he does that, I really think that that's playing in the hands of Errol Spence, because I don't believe that Ugas can outbox Errol Spence. Earl gonna keep him in the middle. If he try to play chess with Earl gonna keep him in the middle of the ring, jab him, jab to the head, straight left to the body to death. Overhand left after the jab. You know what I'm saying? And then I believe that as the rounds start kicking up, maybe 5, 6, 7, that's when you'll see Earl start really putting that pressure on. And at that time, Earl done already put rounds in the bank. And then on top of that, he's been punishing Ugas with the jab and the straight left to the body and the overhand left to the head. I think he'll be right there for the picking for Earl to try to go and get a stoppage. If Ugas does go in there and try to do something uncharacteristic like bomb rush Errol Spence and make it a dogfight early on, I don't think that that's really going to work for him either. But the fact that Ugas is a really good counterpuncher, that's what makes him dangerous. And I think that's what makes this fight interesting for Errol Spence. Because Errol Spence will be first. Just like I told y'all with Danny Garcia. I believe Danny Garcia and Mikey Garcia both two of the best counterpunchers in the entire sport of boxing. That's what they do. Especially Danny Garcia. That's what he do. I mean, Danny Garcia he's a definition of a counterpuncher. He gonna wait on you, let you get your shit off, and he looking to land big lefts and rights behind whatever you throw. But the difficult thing with having that type of style with Errol Spence is that Errol Spence don't mind being first. And if you let him be first, he will oblige you. He will be first. And 9 times out of 10, that ain't gonna turn out good for you. You know, because again, he has a motor. This man is capable of throwing 1,000 punches in a fight, and he goes to the body. He's not a one-dimensional fighter. He gonna give you different looks. And if you allow him to be first, you know, you can end up taking a lot of punishment. And if you don't end up landing that big shot that you're trying to land, you gonna find yourself down on the cards or either getting stopped. Either one. Or both. You know what I'm saying? Salute to the brother Mike Rhyme in the building. What's good? Shout out to my brother Mike Biggs, boxing in the building. What's good with your brother? Bruh Corvin in the building. Salute to you, my boy. What's good? Said I believe we will see the power return from Earl this fight. I believe Earl is focusing on his power. I definitely agree with that. I think that's something that if you look at leading up to the Manny Pacquiao fight, getting back with Blu-ray, you know, getting in some of the best shape. I mean, I'm telling y'all, man, like, just watching Earl, because I was able to see some different footage from Earl leading up to that Manny Pacquiao fight, man, and he was in excellent shape. And just seeing him bouncing on his toes, seeing him just like doing different things, that just let me know the level of energy that he was taking into that fight. And I know that he was really focusing on like displaying strength and power and speed and just really all of his tools. And I think power is definitely an emphasis. It was in that camp, and I think it's also going to be an emphasis in this camp as well. That's why you see him getting a nutritionist now, so he can make weight healthy. He don't have to do everything on his own. Focusing on strength and conditioning. You know what I'm saying? Just making things easier for you. And that's something that I always felt like. I feel like any top world-class athlete, when you get to this level, bruh, you got the money. Like, come on, bruh. Like, spend that money. Set yourself up for success. Put the right people around you. Like, you don't have to, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to do everything the old school way. You feel me? Like, you got all this science and new shit going on, and you got all these different resources available to you, man. Put these folks in position to make your life easier. And that's exactly what Errol Spence doing right now. So I think you will see that pay off in the ring when he gets in there with Ugas. Pool Counter Boxing in a building. Salute to you, my brother. Appreciate you for coming through. Gregory Harper in the building. What's good? I think because of the setbacks, detractors, and doubters, this may be EJ's second biggest fight. Agree. Second biggest fight, I don't know about like biggest. It could be if you're talking about like numbers and stuff like that. It could be. Ain't no telling what the pay-per-view number's gonna look like or what that gate gonna look like. I definitely think the gate is gonna be good because everybody gonna, especially if it's in Dallas, everybody gonna want to go to the fight and see what Errol Spence, just see Errol Spence because we ain't seen him in a minute. But I think this is definitely gonna be probably one of his most impressive performances. I think that's something that you could look forward to. Just in my opinion, just looking at, like you said, the doubters, the naysayers, like all of the shit that's been going on, man. The eye injury, missing out on a Manny Pacquiao fight, Ugas beating Manny Pacquiao, so now you're getting a chance to fight the guy who beat Manny Pacquiao. You know what I'm saying? The dude that was the dude that you wanted to fight, the legend, the great Manny Pacquiao. So it's a lot of reasons why you can look to this fight and predict that it's probably gonna be one of Errol Spence's best performances. Elvis Narte in the building. Salute to you, my brother. What's good? Scorpio Indigo in the building. What's good? Said Bud only got 2 and arm reach on him. Everything else in Earl advantage. Yeah, hey, for real. And you know what? I'm gonna be honest with y'all, man. I don't really think that reach advantage is gonna be anything significant, especially with a guy like Errol Spence. Because go back to what I said about Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson is one of those rare guys who have a great ability to control distance. When you have that ability, arm reach really, it's always a factor. It always can be a factor, let me say that. But arm reach is not necessarily something that fighters like that have to worry about a whole lot, because Shakur Stevenson, if you look at him versus Jamel Herring had a glaring arm reach advantage over him. But at the same time, Shakur Stevenson was still able to keep him at a certain distance so he can hit him and get his shit off and then be able to get out the way, take a half step back or take a lean back. You know what I'm saying? And, be able to be in perfect position to land shots and not get hit. And Errol Spence, in my opinion, is one of the best fighters in the boxing game when it comes to distance control. That's why you don't really see him do a whole lot of like extra movement. He can bounce on his toes. You saw that a little bit in the Lamont Peterson fight. You saw that a little bit in training camp leading up to Manny Pacquiao. He can do that, but he don't have to do that because his ability to control distance and pivot, use his leverage, he's always in perfect position to land shots and not take too much punishment. So as far as the arm reach with Terrence Crawford, I really don't see that being a huge issue. And then on top of that, Errol Spence is going to be coming forward in that fight. I think it's going to be half chess match, half dog fight, but Errol Spence is going to be the one coming forward, putting pressure on Terrence Crawford. You know what I'm saying? So that arm reach shit ain't really going to mean nothing at the end of the day. It's going to come down to, for Terrence Crawford, what's going to be something that he going to have to focus on. Number one, he going to have to be in the best shape he ever been in. Then number two, his counterpunching going to have to be on point. Like, Terrence Crawford counterpunching going to have to be phenomenal if he going to fuck with Errol Spence. Because I'm telling y'all, he going to have to stop Errol. He going to have to hurt him, and he going to have to stop him. He only got a puncher's chance. You know what I'm saying? He only got a puncher's chance to beat Errol Spence. He not going to win on the card. So that arm reach shit ain't really going to be a whole lot of things, a whole lot that Errol Spence going to have to think about. I'm over here looking at the time and said I got this chicken in the oven. You know what I'm saying? A little baked chicken. You feel me? Sounds slight. Let me see. Corey Cunningham. Timing, fame, and angles can negate reach. Big facts. timing, feint, and angles. That definitely can negate reach. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that Errol Spence does really well with the jab. He feints a lot with the jab. You know, throws little shit out there just to kind of get a reaction out of you. You know, and good timing, man. Good timing. You know, good pivot game. I like when Errol Spence take a step back. He'll take like a half step back. You know, you throw some shit, he'll take a half step back, and he right there already able with good leverage to sit on his punches and do his thing. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I don't really think that reach advantage is something that's gonna be a big thing. And somebody just said something in the comments in regard to Terrence Crawford said about his arm. He said he think they be lying. You know what, bruh? I really don't know what to think about his arm reach, because I've seen in fights where they said his shit was 72, and then in other fights they say 74. Like on BoxRec it say 74, and then like some other fights it say 72. So I really don't know. I did, however, I saw a video with Terrence Crawford. He do got some long ass arms. I will say that for his size, he got some long ass arms. You know what I'm saying? But I did see a video with him. It was him, Keyshawn Davis, and Keyshawn Davis' brother. You know what I'm saying? And he was back there just joking around with him. And, you know, Keyshawn Davis' brother, that motherfucker tall as hell. He way taller than Bud. I think he like 6'2", 6'1", something like that. He tall. And Bud was like, you know, he put his arm reach up against Keyshawn and was like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I touch your ass, you feel me? And then, but Keyshawn Davis, his brother, he was like, nah, you can't fuck with him, no. Look at him, his arms long as fuck. But now Bud put his shit up against Buddy, and his shit was right there. He was like, yeah, I touch your ass too. Like, Bud do got some long ass arms, but I don't know about him being 74 inches. That's, you know, but it could be. And even if it is, it still ain't, I don't think that's gonna be a huge issue. If Earl was trying to box Bud off the back foot, and if Bud was the one like that was gonna be aggressive, you know what I'm saying? Or if they was just gonna have a fight in the middle of the ring the whole time, like, it might be an issue, but I don't think that's gonna be Earl game plan. Said, I'm not saying I do, but it looks very similar. But Bud does have high ring IQ. Jody TV in the building. Salute to you, my brother. What's good? Said y'all smash the like button one time for one of the realest in the boxing community. The last of a dying breed. Hey, big facts. Y'all heard that, man. Smash that like button, man. I appreciate that, brother. Hit that like button if you ain't already hit that like button, man. Said Earl has a lot of shit in his bag. Big facts. Big facts. I still don't think we seen the best Errol Spence. I still don't think we seen the best Errol Spence, man. It's still so much more to come. And I mean, we seen different tools in different fights, but I don't think we seen it all put together on one night. And I still think there's gonna be like some great performances that most people probably wouldn't expect from Errol Spence. You know, and then even the people that already see, well, damn, I know he possessed these things, but it's just going to be a sight to see when he actually does have those performances versus different styles and different fighters that we all want to see him fight. Said Crawford won't be able to take Earl body work. I don't think he going to be able to take that pressure on a consistent basis, going to the body, going to the head. You know, the only way that I can see Crawford like really changing that fight is if he hit Earl with a counter punch that's like devastating, like some shit that make Earl reluctant to stick to his game plan. He gonna have to hit Earl with something that's gonna make Earl be like, oh, hold up, oh shit. All right, now let me change my whole shit up. Now I'm gonna try to box. And then once, you know, when you make somebody do something that they don't want to do, even though I think Earl can box with Bud, I believe, me personally, I believe that Earl is the better fundamental boxer. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, when you make somebody do something that they don't necessarily want to do, I think you have the advantage. And if Terrence Crawford can hit Earl with some, You know, and he's very much capable of doing this. But if he can hit Earl with some, you know, make him reluctant, make him kind of second guess himself, now he'll have the advantage. You know, but that's a big if, because yes, we know Bud got power. That's not even something that you can doubt. But at the same time, Errol Spence got a hell of a chin on it, you know, and I think Errol Spence is probably gonna be as strong as he ever been when that fight does happen, man. So if you only banking on a big shot, it's gonna be hard to beat Errol Spence. It's gonna be hard. By the sixth, I'm gonna tell you when that fight really gonna be, when it's really gonna turn up. That fight, if Bud's still around, if he's still around after the 7th round, he gonna be down on the cards. And that's when he gonna have to turn up. That's when you gonna see Bud like take hella chances. He gonna go to southpaw if he ain't already fighting southpaw, because I'm telling you, he better not start that fight off in southpaw. That's gonna be bad for him. That's his best stance. He's not an orthodox fighter. You know what I'm saying? He don't fight his best in orthodox. He's really a southpaw fighter who just changed the orthodox just to give you a different look. But you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell you like this. When it get to the 6th or 7th round, if Terrence Crawford's still hanging around, he gonna find out he down on the cards and he gonna try to turn it up, and that's when shit gonna get real. You gonna see him take a lot of chances. And again, when he go to another level, this the first time he gonna be in the ring with somebody who can match that shit and take that shit up to another level. So when Bud turn it up, what the fuck you think Earl gonna do? He gonna turn that motherfucking shit up, and it's gonna be a dog fight, you know? And I like Earl's discipline more than I like Bud's. I think he'll still be, even though he turned it up, the intensity will be turned up, but I think Earl's still gonna be very calculated, you know, and he'll capitalize on Terrence Crawford mistakes. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be a good fight, man. It's going to be a great fight. Salute to the brother Jay Harris, Too Real, in that super chat, coming through and showing love. He said this fight is going to be the fight that wake everybody the fuck up. EJ going to dominate and stop Ugas. He's going to hurt Ugas bad. Just watch. I totally agree with you, bro. I totally agree with you. I think this is going to be like a showcase fight. Hold on. Let me turn it up now. So this shit don't burn up around this motherfucker. But yeah, you know, I feel like this gonna be like a showcase fight, bro. You know, and I don't want to like, and when I say showcase, I don't want it to sound like he fighting Carlos Ocampo or some shit. Like, nah. When I say, I'm just saying that stylistically, everything that's lining up the way it is, Errol Spence, I feel like he gonna be at his best right now, and he hungry. I think he is hungry as he's been in the last 3 or 4 years. You know what I'm saying? Since he fought Kell Brook. So I just see Earl going out there trying to make a statement, man, putting on a hell of a performance. The Errol Spence that you was gonna see versus Manny Pacquiao, I think that's who you about to get now versus Ugas. Because that Manny Pacquiao fight was gonna be a showcase fight. That was gonna be a showcase fight. Errol Spence versus Manny Pacquiao was gonna be a showcase fight. That Errol Spence, you about to get that versus Ugas. And it might even be on a whole nother level now. Said Terrence Smith in the building, salute, what's good? Said can Crawford neutralize the jab? He can. He can. He gonna have to have a hell of a game plan to do it though. He can. Terrence Crawford is going to have to be extremely accurate. Extremely accurate. You know what I'm saying? Extremely accurate, extremely focused. And I think his punch rate is going to have to come up just a little bit. Just a little bit. I don't think he's gonna be able to do what he did versus Sean Porter against Earl. Like the way he fought Sean Porter, the way he fought Kell Brook, just like really looking for one big shot the whole night. He was subtly setting up things, so I'm not gonna like take that away from him. If you look at the Sean Porter fight, he was subtly setting up that right uppercut, and then he was throwing from the southpaw stance. he was throwing that over. He was throwing that right hook. You know, he was using a check right hook a lot, and then he was lining up that I'm sorry, not the right uppercut, but the left uppercut. So he was throwing the check right, and then he was lining up that left uppercut. So he was really good at like subtly setting things up. He'll have to be even sharper versus Earl if he gonna take that approach. If he gonna take the approach of just looking for one big shot, being a sharpshooter, because again, like if that shit don't work, if you don't land that shot that you looking for, you down significantly on the cards. You know, but can he neutralize Errol Spence's jab? Yes, he can. But his timing gonna have to be immaculate because Earl, Derrick James, they gonna be working on whether he gonna fight orthodox or southpaw. We know when he goes southpaw, he like to use that jab as like a power jab, but it's like a sharpshooting power jab. He don't throw the jab a lot. I think he should jab more often. I think he gonna have to up his jab rate in this fight with Earl too, especially if he want to take Earl's jab away. You know what I'm saying? And he'll have to do that from the orthodox position, but I think he's more comfortable fighting southpaw. It's so many different like variables to this fight, so many different things that can happen. But to answer your question, yes, I know that was a long-winded answer, but yes, he can neutralize the jab, but it's gonna take a lot to do it. Salute to the queen, Simply Amira J, in the super chat coming through and showing love. She said, I'm about to watch The Matrix till I fall asleep. Y'all have a Merry Christmas. Salute, contender. Thank you. I appreciate that. You have a Merry Christmas as well. I just watched that shit. I actually finished watching it earlier today because I did what you did. Last night I fell asleep because that shit long as fuck. But it was good, man. It was good. Enjoy. Said I think Earl really hurts him. Yeah, man. Yeah, I believe that fight, like I said, is gonna be half chess match, half dog fight. So early on, the question is when is it gonna be? At what point is it gonna be the dog fight? Is that shit gonna pop off early? Because I think it could pop off early. You know, it could pop off early just simply due to the pressure that Errol Spence put on Terrence Crawford. Because we all know once Terrence Crawford gets hit with a shot, he reverts back to, he gonna turn southpaw and he gonna want to fight. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, that's when you get a very dangerous Terrence Crawford, but also a very reckless Terrence Crawford. So let's say Errol Spence, he come out early in the fight, start putting pressure, not even nothing too super aggressive, but kind of like how he came out against Danny. Like Errol Spence came out aggressive versus Danny, but he wasn't like overly aggressive. He was just putting pressure on you, mental pressure, and just standing in your face, cutting the ring off so you really can't go nowhere, throwing a jab, keeping a jab, you know, mixing that bitch up, putting that bitch in your face, putting it in your stomach, you know what I'm saying? All type of shit just to like fuck your rhythm up. And let's say, you know, he do that shit on Bud. He come in early, start throwing a jab, and then he able to catch Bud with an overhand left. If he catch Bud with anything solid early in that fight, Bud gonna turn that shit into a fight. He gonna turn that shit into a fight. You know what I'm saying? So, but I could also see the fight, you know, being kind of methodical early on, you know what I'm saying? Both guys jockeying for position. You know, Errol Spence trying to establish his jab, his distance, keeping the pressure on. I could see Terrence Crawford, you know, doing a good job of countering, trying to come over Errol Spence's jab. You know, I think Terrence Crawford gonna really have to go to the body in that fight too. He really gonna have to invest in the body because that's another thing that could slow down a fighter from coming forward. He definitely gonna have to invest in the body early on in that fight because Earl is for sure gonna invest in that body. Salute to the brother D Luckett in the building, man. Appreciate you for pulling up. Shout out to the brother D'Avian Bible in that super chat coming through and showing love. He said when Bud get hit clean, he enters Avatar state. Hey, on God, say, hey, for real. Say when Bud get hit clean, bro, that motherfucking arrow start lighting up. That boy turn it, say he got all the Avatar powers. I'm telling you. Hey, that boy go crazy on me. You feel me? So that's gonna be exciting to see. That's one of my favorite things about Terrence Crawford because he'll throw caution to the wind and just say, fuck it, let's fight. You know what I'm saying? And hey, you got to deal with that shit. Either you gonna use that shit to your advantage, or you gonna succumb to it. That's your only choices. Either you can use his aggressiveness to your advantage, or you just gonna bow down. It's your only options. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no option C. That's the only options you got. The problem is that all the guys that he been in the ring with, you know, the motherfuckers, they bow down. You know, I just don't see that with Errol Spence. But that's not to say that Bud can't, you know, that ain't to say Bud can't stop Errol, because I think he can. Do I think it's likely? No. But can he stop Errol Spence? Yeah, he can stop him. That's his only chance to win, though. He can't win no decision. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, when Bud turn up, what you think Earl gonna do? He gonna turn that motherfucker up too. So you gonna have two fighting motherfuckers in that ring, and then at that point it's gonna be like, okay, who got the better chin? You know, who can take it and who can give it the best? You know what I'm saying? Who can take it better and who can give it better? That's what it's gonna come down to. You know, so you know, I think that's Errol Spence, but that's why we have the fights, man. We're going to see. Said after the Porter fight, I think you're going to see a lot of people looking to get a Crawford fight. Yeah. Yeah. Let's talk about that. That's a good point. Nice segue into what I wanted to talk about also. Said that fight going to be for Undisputed. EJ ain't going to quit. Hell no. Man, say, you going to have, look, and this ain't just for Bud. This shit go for everybody. Anybody that fights Errol Spence Jr., bro, you not gonna win a decision. You either gonna get stopped, lose on the cards, or you gonna have to stop him. That's it. Your only chance to win is by knockout. That's the type of heart and the type of motor this dude got, bro. You not gonna win no decision. Period. That goes for anybody. You gotta stop Errol Spence. I said that shit 4, 5, 6 years ago. You gotta stop Errol Spence. That's your only option. You not winning a decision, bro. You not. Period. It's just not gonna happen. You have to get him up out of there. Bruh just warming up after round 5 or 6. Bruh just warming up. So you got a whole hell of a lot of work to do in the later rounds if you trying to outbox Errol Spence. You got to stop him. That's why this fight is going to be so exciting, because I know Terrence Crawford is going to go for the gusto. He going to go for that. That's what he want. And I know Errol Spence gonna go for it too. So I don't think that fight goes to the scorecards. You know what? The more and more we get closer to the that fight being realistic and actually like being presented to us, I agree. The closer and closer we get to that fight, I don't see it going to the cards. Salute to the brother D Lucky coming through in that super chat, coming through and showing love. He said, good thing Bud is stopping everybody. Spence is next. It's hard to see Bud trying to go 12 with Earl. I love that, bro. I love that. Shout out to my brother D Lucky, man. Always coming through with that real shit. You know what I'm saying? Real Terrence Crawford fan there. You know what I'm saying? That can happen, bro. It can happen. And I agree with you in regard to Terrence Crawford's his mindset. You know, I think he's going to go into that fight wanting to inflict pain, wanting to put the beats on Errol Spence, wanting to prove a point. Like, look, I've been that dude the whole time. He been avoiding me and all this shit. You know what? I know that's the mentality that Terrence Crawford bringing. And I think everything that Terrence Crawford bringing to the table, man, Errol Spence going to be ready for it. You know what I'm saying? Errol Spence going to be ready for it. He going to have a whole arsenal of ammo ready for him. You dig what I'm saying? So that's why that fight gonna be half chess match, half dog fight. You know what I'm saying? Half chess match, half dog fight. You know? And look, the reason I'm so confident, bruh, is, I mean, if you look at Terrence Crawford's, and I'm gonna get back to the brother point, well, because he mentioned something in regard to Terrence Crawford, and I want to get into who he's possibly gonna fight next. But you know, one of the things, like looking at Terrence Crawford in his most recent performances, you know what I mean, he's turned into a sharpshooter. You know, he turned into a sharpshooter, a guy who heavily relies on power, you know, heavily, you know, relies on the timing, and he's precise. He don't waste a lot of punches. I don't know if that's age. I don't know if that's just him being, you know, realizing, hey, I have this immense power that I don't have to overexert myself. Salute to the brother 704 Joe in the building, man. Shout out to Dallas, Texas, man. Hey, if you from Dallas, Texas on this live right now, man, salute to you, 100. You feel me? Shout out to the city. But I don't know if that's Terrence Crawford saying like, hey, man, I possess this power that, man, I don't even have to like go crazy no more. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe it's like, damn, I just want to prove a point. Everybody's saying I'm not a real welterweight. I want to stop everybody that I'm fighting at welterweight. I'm just going to look for the big shots. I'm going to try to line you up for that big shot. Maybe it's age. He like, look, I don't want to overexert myself. Let me just only take the shots that count. Whatever it is, that's the type of style that I've seen Terrence Crawford kind of adopt over the last recent fights. And with Errol Spence, the reason I'm so confident is I'm confident in Errol Spence's chin. Number one, I think Errol Spence's chin is better than Terrence Crawford's. I think Errol Spence is physically stronger than Terrence Crawford. I think he's naturally bigger than Terrence Crawford. You know, so I just don't see Terrence Crawford just landing a shot on Errol and breaking him like that. It's possible, but I don't see that. And in my opinion, that's really the Sharif King in the building, salute. That's really the only way I can see Terrence Crawford winning. I think what you gonna see, D Luckett, is you gonna see Terrence Crawford hit Errol with a solid shot, and Errol gonna eat that motherfucker, and Terrence Crawford gonna know he in a motherfucking fight. That's when you gonna see, and we always talk about Terrence Crawford's ability to adjust. We gonna see it in that fight. We gonna see it in that half chess match, half dog fight. We gonna see it in that fight. His ability to adjust gonna have to be on display in that fight, because I think he gonna hit Errol. Shout out to my brother Alamane Cruz in the building. I think he gonna hit Errol with something hard, and Errol gonna eat that motherfucker, and Errol gonna keep coming forward, and then Terrence Crawford gonna realize like, all right, what's next? And when Errol realized he can take Terrence Crawford power, we really got to fight then. We really got to fight then. You know, we really got to fight then. Salute to the brother D Lucky back in that super chat, coming through and showing love again. He said if Errol shows he's hurt, Bud is going to get him out of there. Big facts. If Terrence Crawford hurt Errol Spence, it's over. And I'm talking about if he hurt him to the point where it's like it's visible, it's over. I totally agree. Terrence Crawford is the best finisher in the sport of boxing. If Terrence Crawford hurt Errol Spence and it's visible, it's over with. I just don't see that happening. You know what I'm saying? I think Terrence Crawford has, between the two, he probably have the most one-punch knockout power. But I think Errol Spence is a more devastating puncher. I just think Errol Spence inflicts more punishment on guys. You know what I'm saying? He inflicts more punishment is what I like to call an accumulation of ass whooping. Now we've seen that he can knock guys out with one punch, i.e. Leonard Bundu, i.e. Chris Algieri. But when it comes to Errol Spence, I think his offense is more taxing. He's a more devastating puncher, and he inflicts more pain, in my opinion. And that's why I think, man, once it come down to it, once Terrence Crawford hit Earl with something solid, and Earl realized I can take this shit, but Terrence Crawford gonna be in a world of pain because he ain't gonna be able to do shit to keep Earl up off of him. I don't know what he gonna do to keep Earl up off of him. Salute to my brother Jay Cooley in that super chat coming through and showing love. He said, hashtag big fish, hashtag free smoke junior, hashtag man down, hashtag still strap season, bitch. You feel me? It's still scrap season around this hole. It's still scrap season. You heard bruh say, hey, I'm finna get this third belt and we gonna see who holding up the fight. Boys thought that strap season shit wasn't for real. Like, bruh still out here collecting belts. Boy, y'all better remember, man. Come on now. Salute to the brother Jay Harris, too real, back in that super chat, coming through and showing love. He said, D Lucky, Earl ain't getting hurt. Hey, 100. I don't see it neither, bruh. It's possible. Anything is possible in boxing. You know, but that shit ain't, I don't see that shit happening. Salute to my brother D Lucky, back in that super chat, coming through and showing love again. He said Bud is a striker and Earl is a puncher. That's a great way to describe the difference between the way those guys punch and inflict their power on their opponents. That's a great way to describe that. Terrence Crawford is a striker and Errol Spence is a puncher. I like that. That's true. You know, Terrence Crawford, he like, you know what I'm saying? He like, people think I'm crazy when I make that comparison with him and Deontay Wilder. Now, I don't think his power is on the level of Deontay Wilder, but obviously. And of course, Terrence Crawford is way more skilled than Deontay Wilder. But what I mean is the mentality. If you look at Wilder in the fight versus Ortiz, he gave up a lot of rounds in that fight, in the rematch. He gave up a lot of rounds in that fight because he knew what? He knew I can land this right hand. At some point, I'm going to land this right hand. And he was precise. He was a sharpshooter, a striker, as D. Luckett would say. He knew I'm going to line his ass up, and I'm going to line that bitch up at the perfect time, and I know it's going to be over with. So I can give up rounds. I think that's the approach that Terrence Crawford has been taking in recent fights. Can he do that versus Errol Spence, though? I don't know. When you get in there with somebody like Earl, bruh, you know what I'm saying? It's a little different. It's a little different. But we gonna see. We gonna see. I think this gonna be the first time that Terrence Crawford been in the ring with somebody where it's like, damn, this motherfucker, he don't just fall when I hit him. Oh, damn, okay, so I hit him with my best shot and he's still there. This gonna be the first time Terrence Crawford been in the ring with somebody that's like, damn, this motherfucker still coming. What I'm gonna do now? That's when you gonna see the levels. That's when you gonna see the levels to this shit. You gonna see levels to this shit. You know what I'm saying? You gonna see levels to this shit, man. Man, this shit gonna be exciting. But I want to ask y'all though, so speaking of Terrence Crawford, Virgil Ortiz is, but first, let me just state the obvious. Errol the True Spence Jr. is about to unify with Yordenis Ugas. We thinking late February, early March. You feel me? That's solidified, right? Virgil Ortiz just got booked up. I believe Josh Taylor just got booked up. Who is Terrence Crawford going to fight next? Is Terrence Crawford going to sit out you know, rest, go on vacation, chill with the family, watch some more tapes of Errol Spence. You know what I'm saying? Go find some southpaws to spar and get ready for Errol. You know what I'm saying? Just sit out, wait for Errol and Ugas to happen, and then put his bid in for Undisputed. Let's say Errol Spence gets past Ugas. He put his bid in for Undisputed right then and there. Boom, boom, boom. They fight in the summertime or the fall. Or should Terrence Crawford take a fight? And if so, who is Terrence Crawford going to fight? Now, y'all seen the poll that we put up. So the poll, we had Virgil Ortiz booked up. We had Jerron Boots Ennis, currently still available. We had Josh Taylor booked up. And then the last option was just sit out and wait. Now, that poll is still up right now. It accumulated over 1,000 votes from y'all, the people. Y'all voted. Over 1,000 votes from y'all. Okay. 51% as of right now, 51% of y'all, that's over 500 votes, voted for Jerron Boots Ennis. So, what's up? What y'all think gonna happen? Is Terrence Crawford gonna sit out? Is he gonna fight Boots? If not Boots, who he gonna fight? Salute to the brother Sean T in the super chat coming through and showing love. He said Crawford starts off too slow. Big facts. Earl's jab is gonna be deadlier than Brooks, and his pressure is more than Sean Porter's. More than Porter switching to southpaw will be ineffective against Earl. Big facts. Big facts. If you look at Kell Brooks, now hold on. Remember, I want y'all to answer that question I just asked, but I just want to speak on what the brother just said. Now, remember, we was just talking about Terrence Crawford's arm reach, right? However, Kell Brooks, he got like, Errol Spence got like a 3-inch reach advantage on Kell Brooks. Why was, when Terrence Crawford was in orthodox, because Kell Brooks is an orthodox fighter, so we got to keep that in perspective. How come Kell Brooks his jab was getting to Crawford before Crawford's jab was getting to him? You didn't see a change up until Terrence Crawford switched to southpaw, because now Kell Brooks, instead of them mirroring each other, now you have Kell Brooks' jab coming in from this side, and then Crawford is now southpaw, having longer reach. Now he can use the jab from the right as a power jab and come over the top of Kell Brooks, and Kell Brooks literally like mindlessly ran into that motherfucker. Like Kell Brooks jumped in that bitch, he mindlessly ran into a jab, but a right hand though. But when Kell Brooks when they was both in orthodox, Kell Brooks with the shorter reach was landing his jab. All you seen was Terrence Crawford head snapping back. That's why he's changed to southpaw. Why was Kell Brooks' jab getting to Terrence Crawford? Why was Kell Brooks' jab popping Terrence Crawford's head back every time? With the shorter reach. We talking about 74 versus 69 reach. Catman785 said timing. That's exactly what it is. Timing. Now, hold on. With all that said, what happened to Brooks? Okay, I hear you. Let me tell you. Errol Spence is a southpaw. What did Terrence Crawford do to offset Kell Brooks throwing that jab? What did he do? He changed to southpaw. Tell me how Terrence Crawford changing to southpaw is going to be effective versus Errol Spence, a natural southpaw, with a way better jab and better timing than Kell Brooks. Tell me how he's going to take Errol Spence's jab away. Well, he going to go to orthodox? He's not the same fighter in orthodox. And I hope He fights the whole fight in orthodox because if he try to fight Earl in southpaw, it ain't gonna work out for him. I'm telling you that right now. But he not the same fighter in orthodox. He not the same. He's a limited fighter out of the orthodox position, out of the orthodox stance. Terrence Crawford is a southpaw. He just fights in orthodox for fun. Terrence Crawford he's a southpaw, bruh. He's not, if he try to fight Earl the whole fight in orthodox, that's gonna be his best chance. We'll see what happens. But if he try to fight him from the southpaw, bruh, he gonna get his ass beat because that jab is gonna be hitting him in his face all fucking night. It's gonna be hitting him in his face, in his chest, and in his stomach all night. So, like I said, he not the same fighter as an orthodox fighter, and he gonna have to fight Earl orthodox, because just like Kell Brook, when they mirrored each other, just like Kell Brook was popping his motherfucking head back with the jab with shorter reach, what the fuck you think Earl gonna do as they mirror each other with a longer, better, more effective, just a way more advanced jab than Kell Brook? What you think Earl gonna do? I want him to go to orthodox. And then we really gonna see what he's a limited fighter in orthodox. He's not an orthodox fighter, he's a southpaw. That's why I keep trying to tell y'all. Go listen to the Blue Blood Sports TV. He did an interview with Jerron Ennis. Jerron Ennis told y'all that. That's something that the young brother peeped up. He peeped game on. And Jerron Ennis is a real switch hitter. He fight both in both stances like pure. I'm just saying, even the young brother peeped that. I've been saying that though. Terrence Crawford is he's a southpaw, bro. He fighting orthodox for fun, just to give you a different look, and then boom, I'ma change the southpaw. Now it's something totally different. Now what you gonna do now? You know what I'm saying? But the dude is a southpaw, bro. Salute to the brother D Luckett. Back in that super chat coming through and showing love, he said, I think Bud would use more foot movement against Earl. He stayed in front of Brook. He won't do that against Earl, knowing how Earl jab is. I can see that. But again, Errol Spence is one of the best fighters in boxing and cutting the ring off. Where you gonna go? Where Terrence Crawford gonna go? It's only one fighter in boxing that's halfway, that's even close to Earl when it comes to cutting the ring off. That's Triple G. And Triple G old now. But Errol Spence is one of the best fighters, if not the best, at cutting the ring off. Where the fuck is Terrence Crawford gonna go? At some point, he gonna have to fight Earl. And that's what we banking on. We'll see. I love this talk, man. I can't wait for this fight, bro. I love this talk. But hold on. So, let me see. Said Bud not a switch hitter. Boots is big facts. But, I want to give Bud credit because he can fight. He can be effective out of the orthodox, but not against somebody that's a real threat. If it's somebody that's a real threat, bro, he going southpaw because that's the best chance he got to win. It's like when he turns southpaw, he fight more instinctive. You know what I'm saying? It's like everything just come natural to him. But when he fight orthodox, it's more like, oh, I'm playing chess. You feel me? It's more like, oh, let me just see what you doing. You know what I mean? You feel me? But when he goes southpaw, though, that's when it's like, oh, let's turn up. Because that's where he feel comfortable. That's where he home at. And when you fight a natural, extremely talented and skilled southpaw like Errol Spence, and he's bigger than you, I just don't really see what he gonna be able to do out of that stance. I think it'll be very interesting. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, he like that right hand in front. He love that right hook. He love that shit, you know. But I'm telling you, that that jab gonna set that shit off. You know what I'm saying? Throwing the timing and the rhythm off on that bitch. You know, Earl gonna keep that jab out there, just putting that bitch in your face, just to give you something to think about. And then you still gotta worry about the overhand left. You still gotta worry about the, you know. But Terrence Crawford, he can make adjustments. So we'll see what he do. We'll see what he do. That jab gonna be on point. That bitch gonna look like Lennox Lewis. That bitch gonna look like Larry Holmes. That night, the jab gonna be, you finna see that motherfucker versus Ugas. But wait till and that's why I was telling y'all, remember I was breaking down, Terrence Crawford ain't Manny Pacquiao. I think Terrence Crawford would have crushed Manny Pacquiao too. Just like I think Earl was gonna crush Manny Pacquiao. But remember I kept talking about Errol Spence versus Manny Pacquiao. What was the main thing I was talking about? The jab. The jab, because we already know how effective Errol Spence's jab is versus orthodox fighters, but versus Manny Pacquiao, a southpaw, man, and Manny Pacquiao got a big ass head. Man, he was finna knock Manny Pacquiao head off his shoulder with the jab. But he was finna beat the dog shit out of Manny Pacquiao, and it was all gonna be because of the jab. That's why I love Errol Spence versus Terrence Crawford, the jab. Because I know he gonna fight in southpaw. Even though I think he should fight orthodox. Either way, I think it's a win for Errol Spence, but he's gonna fight. For him to not turn southpaw versus Earl, it's gonna feel like he cheating himself. Because it's his natural stance. Salute to the brother Sean T. Back in that super chat, coming through and showing love. I appreciate it, my brother. He said, I had to make another comment. Listen, Crawford doesn't use his footwork the way he used to at 140. Thank you. We just talked about that. Said Crawford is about to get punished. Mark my words. I don't know what it is, bro. Like, I mentioned a few different possible reasons. Maybe, you know, it's age, where he like, I don't want to use as much energy as I normally would. Or maybe he's just trying to prove a point. I want to stop all these dudes at 147. You know, or if he just fell in love with the power. You know what I'm saying? The brother Alaman Cruz said his legs ain't the same. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if he just fell in love with the power, or he like, fuck it, I can't move like I used to. I don't know. Salute to the brother Rashid Muhammad in that super chat, coming through and showing love. I appreciate it, my brother. Appreciate you for pulling up on me. You know what I'm saying? But what did y'all say, man? I love when, like, I just love talking boxing in general, but especially like big fights like this, Spence versus Crawford. Bro, I done went off on a whole nother goddamn, I done blacked out on them boys, man. But I was asking y'all who y'all think Terrence Crawford gonna fight. Is he gonna fight Boots? Or is it gonna be somebody else? Or is he gonna sit out? You know, me personally, I think for you getting ready for a guy like Errol Spence, and I'm expecting Errol Spence to have a career highlight of a performance versus Yordenis Ugas. That's just what I'm expecting. I could be wrong, but I'm just taking everything into account, how this shit lining up. I'm just expecting a beautiful performance versus Ugas. So when you got a guy like Errol Spence, who is gonna be collecting a third title, you know, remaining unified champion, going into a Terrence Crawford fight with a potential chance to reach his ultimate goal, one of those. But we know, since you've been hearing Errol Spence talking interviews, what's the thing that he's been talking about the most? I want to be undisputed champion at 147. He did an interview and said, when people talking about you avoiding Terrence Crawford, he like, no, I told y'all I'm going to get these belts and I'm going to go take Terrence Crawford belt. And he said the only way to be undisputed is I got to go take his belt. So that's the type of energy you're going to get with Errol Spence going into that fight with Terrence Crawford. So with that being said, Terrence Crawford, I don't think it's going to be advantageous for him to just sit out and be, you know, because that's a lot. Number one, you're getting older. And then number two, I just don't like fighters sitting out for a long time. You know what I'm saying? He fought in November. That fight won't happen till at the earliest summer 2022. But I think it'll be more so around like early fall, like late summer, early fall, maybe like August, September, October, something like that. So I really don't think it'll be advantageous for Terrence Crawford to sit out that long. He gonna have to fight somebody. Who will it be? Now again, Virgil Ortiz, he's booked. Josh Taylor, he's booked. Jerron Boots Ennis, though, he available. But that's a dangerous fight. Now look, let me say this. I see my brothers in here, man. Let me say this real quick. If he doesn't fight Boots, I'm not saying that Terrence Crawford is even obligated to fight Boots. If he don't fight Boots, I wouldn't blame him at all. I don't think it's a duck. I don't think it's none of that shit because, like I said, for Terrence Crawford, that's for Terrence or Errol Spence right now, until Boots is like mandatory, that's a high risk, low reward fight. It's a huge risk, a hell of a challenge, and you ain't really gonna get a lot from that. But once he get into a situation where you gotta fight him, that's another story. You dig what I'm saying? But I would love to see that fight, Salute to the brother Diavian Bible in that super chat coming through and showing love. He said, if the fight happens, I just hope both sides, no matter the, no matter the what? Keep it peaceful. Oh, no matter the outcome, keep it peaceful. You know what, bruh? I like that. And I think, I definitely think, let me make sure I ain't miss nobody. Okay, I see you in here. Let me, hold on. Okay, I got my brother. I ain't missing. Let me go back. But yeah, bro, I agree. And I said in a video like a couple of weeks ago, I said, man, when they have that fight, that shit gonna have extra security. Because it's like both of these dudes got a following. Now of course, Terrence Crawford ain't got the biggest fan base. But at the same time, the people that do fuck with Terrence Crawford, they really fuck with him. You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, like Terrence Crawford really from the hood. You know what I'm saying? Like Terrence Crawford really from that background where it's like, he got a lot of hood motherfuckers that fuck with him. Family, friends, the motherfuckers out of Omaha, Nebraska, they really fuck with Bud like that. You know what I'm saying? Errol Spence got a really solid fan base. Like, a really solid support system. He got a whole state. You know what I'm saying? A whole city, whole metroplex, whole state. The whole state of Texas fucking with Earl. You dig what I'm saying? And in Texas, we got a whole lot of Mexicans. You know what I'm saying? He already got a solid black fan base, but then you got the Mexicans from Texas that fuck with Earl heavy. You dig what I'm saying? So I hope they got some security in that motherfucker because shit might go, you know what I mean? Motherfuckers gonna be drinking and shit. So that's one thing. But then as far as the actual fighters themselves, I think it's gonna be some respect there. No matter the outcome, I think you're gonna see some respect. I think shit could get a little chippy leading up to the fight because the press conference is gonna get, motherfuckers gonna have that testosterone, you feel me? That aggression. Motherfuckers gonna be feeling like, shit, this undisputed. I'm the best. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you been ducking me? Nah, you been ducking me. Woo, woo, woo. All this shit. It's gonna be some words exchanged. Motherfuckers gonna smell cologne in that bitch. And they gonna understand like, hey, I'm in here. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely think it's gonna get a little chippy in the press conference. Some shit gonna go down. But I think once the fight actually happens, and after the fight, it's gonna be respect. It's gonna be respect. That's one thing, and it's very rare. Like sometimes it does happen where shit get out of hand, where it's like motherfuckers, other people jumping in the ring and all type of shit. People acting crazy. Like that could happen, but that's rare. A lot of times when you see two great fighters, two great competitors, when they get in that ring, man, and they fight their heart out, no matter what happened, bro, it be respect. It be respect. Because at the end of the day, you got to respect that other motherfucker that get in the ring after the fight. Not during the fight, but after the fight. Don't be on no Caleb Plant shit. No friendly shit. Fuck that. We don't need none of that. I don't want to see Terrence Crawford being friendly. And I know Errol Spence ain't going to be on no friendly shit. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't want to see none of that. But After the fight, though, it's gonna be respect. It's gonna be respect for sure. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think that's gonna be a problem, but I am excited to see. Shout out to my brother, the Soulmates just pulled up. I am excited to see like how the press conferences go. That first face off. You know what I'm saying? The weigh-in. Like, you feel me? Shit gon' go crazy. You know what I mean? It's gonna be a good build up to that fight. And I think everybody gonna be excited. As long as they got some security, though, they need everywhere they go, every event, press conference, you know, gathering, whatever they do, they just need to have the security beefed up. That's all I'm gonna say. You know what I'm saying? Because I know when Terrence Crawford was out here for the Danny Garcia fight, and some shit went down. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, boys was trying to get at Bud and them. So, you know, I'm just saying, they gonna have to have some extra security. You dig what I'm saying? Because, you know, folks out here, man, they really fuck with Earl, man. You know, so, shit, boys pulled up on him like, hey, what's good? You know what I'm saying? You know, Earl just got done fighting and shit. Boys see Bud and them out there in the stands like, what's good? Hey, motherfuckers out here fuck with Earl like that. Said Ugas gets hit too much, Spence might stop him. I think so too, bro. I think so too. I think there is a huge possibility or probability, I would say, that Errol Spence stops Yordenis Ugas. I'm thinking like 9th or 10th round. Y'all know I love the 9th round, but I see like 9th or 10th round. You know, I think this is going to be a point in time in that fight where Earl takes it up to another level and Ugas can't match him. That's one thing that versus Manny Pacquiao wasn't really like, and I'm not shading Ugas or nothing like that, but I knew Earl was going to fuck Manny Pacquiao up. And Ugas went out there and did a great job of outboxing Manny Pacquiao and just doing just enough to win. But there was a certain point in that fight where the way Ugas was outboxing Manny, the old Manny, like the younger, more vibrant, more energetic Manny would have took that shit up to another level to try to secure a victory or to try to come back, you know, noticing he down on the cards. I'm getting stung with the jab, overhand right. Let me do so. I'm going to turn it up. I think, but Manny couldn't do that. You know what I'm saying? So Ugas was able to just coast and do what he do. But with Earl, he going to be in there with a guy that's like, when Earl turn it up to another level, I don't think Ugas going to be able to match him. You feel me? He going to try, and he going to put up a great fight, but I think it's going to be a level that Earl go to that Ugas just simply cannot reach. And I think Earl going to get him out of there. Salute to the brother D. Luckett coming through in that super chat and showing love once again. He said, will Earl call Bud out after Ugas? You know what? Once he does get that third belt and they put that mic in front of him in the ring, I think he will. But you know what? That's not even important. I think he will, because just based off of everything that he said in regard to wanting to be undisputed, collecting this third belt, like he said, after I get this third belt, we gonna see who holding up the fight. It's literally nowhere else, nothing else for Errol Spence to do at 147 after getting this belt versus Ugas, but fight Terrence Crawford. So I believe that he will, but you know what's important is that them brothers get together behind the scenes and make this fight. What's important is that Terrence Crawford, if he haven't already, and look, I haven't heard nothing about this, but I remember when Canelo linked up with the PBC to get that undisputed fight versus Caleb Plant, and you know that was for undisputed, right? So Canelo being a free agent, just like Terrence Crawford is a free agent right now, that fight versus Earl is going to be for undisputed. Now, when Canelo reached out to the PBC, we heard about that shit, right? You seen Mike Coppinger on Twitter, Canelo you know, meets with the PBC, Al Heyman, initiates negotiations, woo woo. You seen this shit posted everywhere. How come we ain't heard nothing about Terrence? I think Terrence Crawford already know what Errol Spence got going on. That's probably why he ain't did that shit. You feel me? But I'm just saying, why we ain't heard Terrence Crawford, like, ain't no tweets, ain't been no news come out said Terrence Crawford done met up with PBC. You know what I'm saying? Simply Trucking LLC in the building, salute. Ain't no news came out said Terrence Crawford done sent the contract to PBC or he done reached out, called out Heyman. Terrence Crawford himself ain't said that he did that. So, I mean, all the calling out shit is sound good, but what you really doing on the business side to make the fight? That's what I want to know. You know what I'm saying? So, I hope Errol Spence does call him out. That's great for, like, the fans and the build-up. But, like, what's really going on behind the scenes? Are you really, like, being purposeful in trying to make this fight? Because when Canelo reached out for Caleb Plant, we heard about that shit. I ain't heard nothing about Terrence Crawford being a free agent now. I ain't heard nothing about him exercising his free agent abilities and freedoms and reached out to try to make a deal. So that's going to be the key. But I agree with you. I do hope Earl call him out, you know, say all type of shit. I want Earl to call him all type of, you know what I'm saying, fuck boys, and yeah, I'm gonna beat your ass, and I want Earl to talk dirty to him. You feel me? Like after he beat Ugas, you know what I'm saying, he got that third belt on his shoulder. Yeah, I want him to talk all type of shit to him in that ring. You feel me? And I know Terrence Crawford gonna be at the fight. I know he gonna be there. Yeah, bring his ass in the ring. Call him in there like he did Manny. Hey, bud, bring your ass in this ring, boy. Come on in here. What's up? Let's make this fight. You dig what I'm saying? Yeah, that's what I want to see. But they got to actually be purposeful behind the scenes to make this shit happen. Lashad Jones in the building. Salute. What's good? Dexter Hayes in the building. What's good with you? Said, where is Boots ranked at with the WBO? Bud don't want no smoke with Boots. I think Boots is like number 2 or number 3, ain't it? Ain't Boots like number 2 in the WBO? He like 2 or 3. He up there. Said he been waiting to talk his shit. That's why he said don't take my silence as weakness. For real. I expect Earl. Oh, he ranked 3? Okay. Yeah, that's a fight. They can easily, if Terrence Crawford want that, he can easily justify fighting Boots. But, you know, we'll see. Will he take a tough fight like that, you know, before going in there with Earl? You know what I'm saying? I mean, if that did happen, imagine Jerron Boots Ennis. And I said this plenty of times that I believe right now, Terrence Crawford beats Jerron Ennis. That's just me. I'm not saying that I don't think Ennis can win, because I think that's really like a 50-50 fight. I think either guy can win, but I'm just like, if I had to pick, I would go with Terrence Crawford. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I just think Terrence Crawford would be able to pull it out due to experience and just where he's at mentally in his career right now. But I could be wrong. So, but imagine if Jerron Boots Ennis does win that fight, and instead of us getting Errol Spence versus Terrence Crawford for Undisputed, imagine if 25-year-old Jerron Boots Ennis is fighting Errol Spence for Undisputed. Wouldn't that shit be something? Wouldn't that be something? That shit'd be crazy. Yeah, I agree, Jay Harris. You know, if that fight did happen, I wouldn't be mad, but I don't think Bud should be like going after Boots though. You know what I'm saying? See, look. See, we different. You see how Errol Spence fans, you know, and I'm a Terrence Crawford fan too, but we ain't up here talking about, Boots finna be the mandatory for Earl. Oh, he ducking Boots. No, I'm like, shit. If he want to fight Boots, cool. If not, it's cool. Because I know Boots get fucking around and beat him. So I'd rather see Errol Spence versus Crawford. You know what I'm saying? So you know, we just looking at this shit different. Like, realistically, like, bro, I want to see the fight that we've been wanting to see. So I wouldn't want to see Boost get in there with Bud and potentially fuck it up. But if it happened, I wouldn't trip. But that ain't nothing I'm calling for, though. I ain't calling for it. You know, if Bud don't fight Boots next, I wouldn't think nothing of it. Ain't no duck. Yeah, Boots gonna get his chance for sure. You know what I'm saying? Say he'll stop Bud. It's possible. That'll be a hell of a fight. That'll be a hell of a fight, bro. That'll be a hell of a fight. You know what I'm saying? But look, man, I'm hungry as fuck, man. I'm finna go ahead and eat. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate y'all for coming out here. You know what I'm saying? Pulling up on this Christmas Eve. Rock out with your boy. Talk some good boxing, man. Look, I appreciate everybody that super chatted. First and foremost, man. Everybody supporting the channel. Thank you so much. Everybody in the regular chat. You feel me? Chopping it up with your boy. I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? I hope y'all have a happy holidays. You know what I'm saying? Be safe. Have fun. Enjoy y'allself, man. Stay blessed. Stay inspired. You know what I mean? Keep y'all spirits up. You know, motherfucking spirits be getting down throughout the holidays sometime. You know what I'm saying? Shit be going on, man. But, hey, keep y'all spirits up, man. I'm going to fuck with y'all, man. Contender regime. Boxing. I'll holler at y'all, boys, man.